right off the bat because this has been fun and I know we only need to grow from here onwards. I am going to now introduce Mr. Fun, Chris Nielsen. Yes. Chris is an improv and experiential trainer. Now that's a big word. He utilizes proven principles of, please say that word.
Improvisational comedy.
See what I mean? Here we go. To consistently cook up. Great communication, connection, creativity, and collaboration, leading to a feast of engagement, innovation, and productivity. Now, Chris, in speaking and writing, and Chris, what's the third one?
Don't remember.
Life.
Oh, life. That's it. Life.
Okay, Chris's presentation is titled Power of Play. Tap into your creative genius and grow your skills. Welcome, Mr. Chris Nielsen.
Thank you. It is so good to be here, to be with playful, positive people, and to start off with a bang. I say this, and it's been for me a magic in this one thing. Playfulness erases fear. Playfulness erases fear when you're in it. Now, if you're in it and you go, oh my gosh, I look foolish, then you're out of it, and then the fear sucks back into you, and you go, oh no, there's that fear back again. And I used to hate to be foolish. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about me. I'm going to share a recipe that you can go at home and cook with. And you can even, the cool thing about this recipe, you don't have to cook with the whole thing to make it work. You can cook even with just parts of the recipe. So you don't have to cook with everything, and it still will create magic in your life. And I love those people out there that can be so still for so long, like Nancy and Laura. I don't know how you can hold that posture so good. You must be just amazing at yoga. Thank you, Harold, doing it. I love audiences, so the more you participate, the better. This is a collaboration. I will share stories and principles whether you participate or not. Those of you out in the world that maybe watch this later, I hope that you get a ton of value from it today. I did. It changed my life. It changes the people I work with and speaking and leading their life, those that actually take it on and cook with some of these part of this recipe. But I'm sure where I came from as a fearful speaker, oh no, in the past, my favorite time in speaking was this. After I'd given what I thought was a decent speech, and I got to sit down. Now I could finally breathe fully. Oh, that's done. I could worry about a speech for a month. And where did that come from? I want to talk about, I was programmed. And I know all of you have been programmed as well. If you're saying to me, no, Chris, I was not programmed, you've been programmed to answer just that way. And we've all been programmed, and I'll give you one of my simple programs as a kid. Never let them see you sweat. It's a TV commercial program made to feel defective about sweating, and I sweat a lot. Now, no coach ever came up and said, hey, Chris, I want you to go out there and play really hard, but don't do any of that sweating stuff that you do on a regular basis. No coach ever said that. But people on my own team would go, oh, in practice, I don't want to guard Chris. He's kind of sweaty, slimy. No, thank you. People on other teams would go, you take him. I don't want to guard him. He's slimy. I heard that over and over again. And I felt like I was defective from that. I was also criticized by a well-meaning parent. I can see it as love to this day now. But back then it didn't feel like love. It felt like the opposite of love. And he was constantly critical of me. So I never felt good enough. Now, I also know this. The world is throwing this I'm not good enough program at you 24/7. It's pumping at you. Even some well-meaning friends or family members are repeating it or sending it towards your way. So inoculate yourself against this. Yeah, thank you for that. Wait, that's right. Put it in your arm. I'm good enough. It feels like pumps you up. It protects you against that. I'm not good enough energy out there. Thank you, Olivia and Steve. That was awesome. Now, so there's power in it. Inoculate yourself against it and feel that energy in you. I know you're good enough, just as I know I am now. But I'll show you, I'll empower all of you, even those that can't see me. You have just become an empress or an emperor. You're now all emperors and empresses, meaning if you like what I say, you can give me a thumbs up. Yeah, I think that's true or good. If you're not so sure, I don't know about that, Chris. I'm not quite believing you there. But if you, no, thank you for that. And I'll have to make sure I read your name right because I need glasses now. Nancy, thank you for the thumbs up. And if I'm wrong, thumbs down. If you love it, 2 thumbs up. And if I say something so horrific, you want to cut my head off, you give me 2 thumbs down. And I'll probably ask you why you want to cut my head off. Now let's go to fear to fun. So I was constantly criticized as a kid, had that program that never lets you see you sweat. In middle school, I was to give a speech. And I was sweating just thinking about it. As I walked to class, I was sweating. As I sat down, I was praying, please don't pick me. She's picking everyone. When she picked me, I stood up and my hands started shaking. And in that moment, I tried to will them to stop shaking and I couldn't. And all of a sudden, it was like a monsoon rain was released from the top of my head and rivulets ran down my face like I've never sweated before. My face went a pure red. And in that moment, I was hoping the earth would swallow me up because I was afraid of one of those mean kids in school that would never let you forget something like that was in that class. I just wanted to disappear. And I do crazy things almost every single speech. Every time I got up to speak after that, I'd buy 2 shirts exactly the same. And if I could, I would switch out and come back with a new shirt on if given the opportunity. I did something I will never do again. At one of the speeches that was really important to me, it was frozen water on the bottom and almost frozen water near the top. And I was being introduced to speak and I put it on my back of my neck. I would do that again. I would not do this next thing. As she finished the introduction, as Irma finished introducing me, I did this. Took a huge swig of it to cool off even more. And when I started talking, my tongue couldn't move very well, and I felt like I was slurring every word. I started to sweat because I was so self-conscious about it. I don't even like cold water now at gigs where they serve you water. I go, can I get mine without ice? Thank you for the laughter. Please laugh at us. Thanks, Dan, for the crying laughter. Crying laughter is the best. If someone can make you cry and laugh at the same, in a good way, I mean, not in the way they punch you in the face and you're crying, because in a good way. My first improv performance, which was probably, I don't even know the number now. I should look it up. I keep saying 11 or 12 or 13 years ago. I put an ice pack down my pants. I did that in the bathroom before the show because I knew Jackie Lowe would never turn the air conditioner on. And I asked her to do it, but she wouldn't do it. So I was so nervous I had brought a cooler in there and I walked into the bathroom and I tested it out. I hadn't tested it at home. It was exhilarating. I think it could have worked, but I said, someone's going to see it. So I put it in the back of my pants. Also felt really good, but then I was worried it might fall out during the show. So I took it out, put it in the cooler and went out and did the show without the ice pack. And I did it. And then the last thing I'll share with you is I bought panty liners. And yes, women's panty liners, and I used them in my armpits. And in practice, oh my gosh, they worked great. I was moving around, sweating, but nothing here. I go, I might have an invention. My problem might turn into something really cool, something good. So I walked in that speech with an extra level of confidence, and I was speaking, and I was sweating, but no big deal until I looked down, and there was a big oh no, and another big oh no, and then my arms were like this, because there was a dry panty liner island in a lake of sweat, perfect outline, both arms, dry panty liner island. The rest of the thing, I was like this. So that was the last time I wore panty liners. Now, in a recent talk, I said that story, and one woman, that's the only time a woman ever said this to me. She said, well, Chris, why didn't you get heavy flow panty liners? I never thought about it. I never wore panty liners again. I was so mortified at that moment, but now I can laugh about it. Since then, I've done a speech. Let them see you sweat. Let them see whatever the thing that troubles you most. And I love, that Olivia and Irma and Steve came to me with this idea of a heart song. What does your heart sing? And I love what Diane said earlier. When you feel expansive, it feels good. When we contract, it really doesn't feel good. And I was very contracted. I was living a life extremely contracted. And that doesn't feel very good at all, to live a life like that. So I found ways for myself to be more expansive and help others be more expansive as well. And one of the ways I do it is through a speaker training, which you see in the background as well, and you can check it out if you want. But one of the mottos in that is this: be willing to be bad over and over again so you can eventually be great. And at the time, I wasn't willing to be bad. And I'm going to share with the recipe that I've shared with groups at Microsoft, Intuit, Sony PlayStation, and many other small companies. And I hope you play with it in your life, even small parts of this recipe. And I want to play it a guessing game. So we can fill in the blanks together. You can either use the chat, or you can use, and it's not these little hands that I'm using, or that I want you to feel like that. I want you to feel like that at the end of this presentation, feel like that, or even in the middle of it. But here's a recipe that we're going to play with. And I'm going to actually start with number 6. And I love bad guesses. I especially love funny guesses. So if you know what it is and you just want to guess funny. And according to Google's Project Aristotle, the number one factor in creating a high performance team was this. And I use it for number 6. Anyone guess what that is? Create, I like where we're going here. Create a dorky hairdo. Yes, Steve, that's absolutely right. No, but it's not, but it's a funny guess. It made me laugh. So I appreciate it. Steve, you're a winner for a gold star. I love it. Steve's got a gold star. Anyone else have a guess what it could be? And if you can always wave at me like this. Oh, it's a motto. I like a motto. Yep. You can fill in, I'll just fill in the blanks if this goes a little too long. Last chance to guess, people. I'm giving it to you. Create a safe place. Dan's basically got it. It's create a safe environment is what I put, or a safe space. And I want you now, all of you in your rooms by yourselves, or if you're tuning in on YouTube or in the Zoom room, I want you to point to the most dangerous person in the Zoom room to you. It's me. And it's you. You are the most dangerous person to you. All these negative thoughts you repeat in your head. I did it. I eventually internalized all my dad's not good enough thoughts, and I started repeating them for me. So create a safe space in your head as well. Google's Project Aristotle said create a psychologically safe place. And what that means is ideas can get bloodied, wham, to that idea, but people do not get bloodied. Ideas bloodied, people not. People respected, appreciated. And I say environments some of them are concrete and others are net, or somewhere in between. Are you a concrete person or a net person? And a concrete person would say, I can't believe you did that. That was so stupid. A net person would say, great effort. That was awesome. Go for it again. So how are you out in the world? Are you a net person or net organization, or are you a concrete person? Create a safe place. Now, number 5, I'm going to share it this way. Dare to blank. Guess is appreciated. Jackie Lowell shared it this way. She said, this is the secret to success in improv and life. I was leaning in when she said that. I like secrets. Tell me, Jackie. But when she shared it, I said, no, thank you. Not for me. I'm not interested in that secret. Dare to play. I would have been good with that, Steve. I would have been on board with play, even though I had trouble playing in the beginning. Any other guesses what it is? All right. I'm going to give it to you then. It's not dare to fail. I wouldn't have liked that one either, even. It was not dare to try. Yeah, dare to fail. It's not that one. It's not dare to mess up. I wouldn't like that one either, but it's not that. She said, dare to suck. And I said, no, thank you. Since then, I've done a keynote called Dare to Suck. 6-foot letters on the bottom of theater seating. I danced into the room to Justin Timberlake, Can't Stop the Feeling. I asked a room full of about 75 CEOs in San Diego to get up and dance with me. Do you know how many got up to dance? Almost zero. Steve's almost right there. The MC of the event, who CEO'd her own company, she got up with about 30 seconds left. And the founder of the event sat on his butt until about 5 seconds were left in the song, and then he did a little shimmy. So that was it. And then I said, what's the title of my talk again? Dare to what? And you didn't get up to dance? What that mean? Now the top of this, and here's the key to it. We know failure leads to success if you're willing to fail, but most people are not. Most people know it intellectually, but most people don't act on it. I played baseball, but I was never a huge baseball fan. Now I'm a fan of Babe Ruth, though. 714 home runs. He's known as the king of home runs. Crack! It's out of there. He's known as the king of home runs. He also had 1,330 strikeouts where he missed the ball and sat down. And at the time, some writers wrote, striking out is a shameful act. Yet he was the king of strikeouts as well. And I said to myself, what am I willing to fail at 1,330 times to be at the top of my game? He's not known as the king of strikeouts. He's known as the king of home runs. So what are you willing to risk? What excites your heart so much you're willing to take a risk? It can be powerful when you get to that place. When you actually dare to suck, dare to fail. You watch it in romantic movies. It's someone finally, there's such a deep connection, you're willing to get out there and risk everything, which feels like you're risking everything when you risk your heart. The two-word, let's go to number one now, the two-word basis of improv comedy. I'm sure someone knows what that is. It is two very short words. Yes and, Steve, you are yes and correct. Absolutely. To affirm and add to it, there's some companies that bring this on as a mantra. Lately, I've spoke to a number of CEO groups, and one of the CEOs said yes and became a company mantra. And it helped create an incredible organization that was more innovative, retained its best people, recruited people more easily. It was more productive, all those things with this yes and mantra. How can we say yes? Look for an area in life you can say yes to. Number two, I share this way. I think it's the number one factor or number one skill in a bunch of skills that make up leaders, salespeople, negotiators, and in relationships. What is that skill? What is that skill? Everyone should know what this communication. Yeah, it's part of a. I would agree with you, Steve. It's break down what are the communication skills. I rate it as the number one skill in those group of communication skills. And yes, Steve comes through again. Listening. So all of you emperors and empresses out there, would you agree listening is the number one skill in sales, negotiation, leadership? And let me say this, even advanced speaking. Because right now I have you in gallery view, and I'm watching all the facial expressions, and I really appreciate Olivia, Irma, and Steve right now. The other facial expressions, Dr. Catherine has a lovely smile. Nancy's smile is good. Delisa is looking kind of off in the distance. I'm not sure. She doesn't want to make eye contact. I'm moving over, Delisa, to see if I can look into your eyes. But yeah, I love your smiles. And Diane, it reminds me of nice bowls there. Very appreciated. I'm constantly looking at my audience and going, am I connecting with this or not? And I'll just put that out as a speaker and as a human being. One of the powerful questions I call a compass question, a question that points to what's really important. Am I connecting in this moment, or am I disconnecting? Am I connecting or am I disconnecting? When we're connected to our people or our audience, they'll go the extra mile or 10 miles for us. When we're disconnected, they'll do the bare minimum, maybe actively sabotage or do something else. And I use this powerful example, or not powerful if you don't plug it in. Imagine being in such a rush, you decide to vacuum your room without plugging the vacuum in. That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? But sometimes I think in life, we don't bother to connect with people. We don't plug into power first before we do it. Plug in the vacuum first, plug into power first, plug into your people first, And then it's much more powerful to vacuum out there in the world. Now, number 3 is the magic blank. It's the blank where you can actually feel your heart. It's Diane talked about it a lot earlier, and it takes speaking to a whole nother level. What would take your speaking to a whole nother level? And there's a lot of things that would, and a lot of the things would take listening to a whole nother level. What is that thing that would take your listening or speaking to a whole nother level? Love to hear or see some guesses on this one. And for all you freeze people, well, yes, empathy, absolutely. Empathy is a superpower, I believe, Steve, and we'll take it. Gut feeling, I like that too. Those will all take, I believe, to another level. Be present is what I'm looking for. There is magic in the present moment. It's what finally took me from for the person who couldn't wait to get done speaking to the one who loves being in the middle of speaking because it brings me to the present moment so much. This, what I'm doing right now, feels a little bit like a meditation because I'm here fully with you to give as much as I possibly can. That's why I'm here today. I love to speak because I love to add value to people's lives. I know how many times in my life I've truly struggled. Someone who wears panty liners that's a man in his armpits is not doing so well in life in that moment. That guy wasn't doing so well. I love that I can look back and laugh at it. So I look at the power of my struggles today and how they can make a difference in other people's life today. I can relate more to other human beings and their struggles because of that. And I've struggled in many other areas as well. I've had my heart broken multiple times. What I realized in that is this. Like the song said, all the broken hearts in the world still beat. Let's not make it harder than it has to be. And I realized my heart was still beating. So was it really broken? And in fact, my mind was broken. And the broken part of the mind, the being present part is when I talk about fear again, playfulness erases fear because playfulness brings you present. Being present is like sunshine and fear is like mist in the air. When the sunshine is fully out, when you're fully present, that mist just disappears. Another way to say it is this. Most fear is a future projection of things going wrong. And I love how Diana explained it earlier. Your body tightens up. It gets ready to go into fight, flight, or freeze. Your blood comes from the thinking part of your brain back to the primitive alligator brain. You're ready to attack or fight. And it's hard to be great at speaking that. Your vision tunnels as a speaker because you're ready to run away. You're only focused what's right in front of you. And that's a tough place to be. So yes, and listen, be present. Make your blank look blank. These were all kind of program changes for me. Make your blank look blank in improv. It's one of the biggest things we do as an improver. It's perfect for funny guesses. It is not make your face look interested. It's not make your underwear look clean. It's good to have clean underwear just in case something happens. It's none of those. Any guesses what it is, and I will share very shortly what it is. Any other guesses? All right, Steve's got one again. Make your pain look healing. I like that one, Steve. Make your pain actually can be healing. You know, if you actually go, where's the root of that pain coming from? If it makes you look at yourself, I think when Eckhart Tolle, his deep pain actually set him free finally. Can your deep pain let you set you free? Okay, I'm gonna give it to you. Make your people look great. And as a speaker, your people are your audience. You are all my people. Thank you for being here and listening. Even the frozen people out there. Make your people look great. Who else are your people? Could be your kids. Could be your friends, your family, your spouse, your significant other. Could be your clients, customers. Could be your business partners. Could be your boss. Could be all those things. This recipe was moved me in so many ways, and I'm going to fill in the blanks here so you have it. If you want to take a screenshot of it, shoot away. I want to make a difference in the world. The other compass question that I share is this. And here's a heart one, like the heart contracting, it's expansive. Am I coming from abundance or scarcity? And oftentimes I'm programmed in scarcity. So my first answer is a scarce answer. or a fearful answer. But then I ask, what's the abundant answer? Or what's the abundant action that I can take? When someone asks you to play, the abundant action is to play. And even be foolish with it. So I want to ask all of you out there, whether you're listening or see this later, how would you like people in your life that yes-anded you, listen to you, were present with you, set you up to look great? Give me a thumbs up if you'd like one or two of those. Give me 2 thumbs up if you'd like. Yes, thank you for all those. That's great. Thank you, Irma, Olivia, and Steve. Yes. And for those of you that are frozen out in time, I bet you do too. When I ask live audiences that I can see that are breathing and feeling, yeah, thank you for that, Nancy. I knew you were out there. I can feel it. Thanks for that digital thumbs up. That even feels good. 90+% of my audiences give me 2 thumbs up to that. And oftentimes it's 100%. We would love people in our life that yes and us, listen to us, be present with us, make us look great. Now I'm going to do the empowering flip for you, the thing you actually have control of. How many of the people in your life would like you, that's right, you out there, you out in the world, the digital world, you watching this or listening to this, you to yes and them, listen to them, be present with them, and make them look great? Give me 1 thumb if you think it's yeah, Steve's got it. 2 thumbs. We'd love to have people around us do that for us. They'd love for us to do that for them as well. And we have the power to do this. Now, I have to say, I thank you, Nancy. I felt 2 thumbs in the chat. That's awesome. When I ask people this, they're so empowered by that. We can all do this. I was a no butt kind of guy, meaning I have a butt. It's back there. I know you can't see it right now, but I have one. But I would say no but when you share a good idea. And I didn't realize how disconnecting it was, how powerfully disconnecting I was when I said no but. And I think Laura said something in the chat. Oh, yes, Laura loves playfulness. Thank you, Laura, for that. Erase fear golden. I have a client. Oh, no, don't go, Laura! Okay, you catch, only if you catch the rest on replay. I love the quote, too, that the broken heart still beats. Thank you. Who said that? Who's the singer that said that all the broken hearts in the world still beat? Let's not make it harder than it has to be. I'll find out later. Anyway, so this recipe is empowering me. It's a very connecting recipe. It's a collaborative recipe. When I went into improv, I thought it was about looking good or being funny. It's not. It's actually being more honest. The more you come from your heart in improv, the more honest you are. Your partner's job is to set you up to succeed. Your job is to set your partner's job up to succeed. If there are 3 people in a scene, 2 people are looking to set you up to succeed. You're looking to set those 2 up to succeed. Everyone's looking for that. This collaborative magic happens. You've got this safety net of people looking to help you that have your back. It feels amazing. So then I could actually start daring to suck. There was a power in that. It was Ingrid Michaelson. Yes, Irma's right on it. I knew you knew it when I said it. She's great. So there's a power in that. Yeah, on your phone. There's a power in that. So I hope you play with this recipe in some ways. Just how can I listen a little better? One of the reprograms for me in terms of listening was this. Am I listening with the willingness to change? If I'm not listening with the willingness to change, am I actually listening? Maybe, but probably not that much. Can I listen in with the willingness to change? Can I actually listen with, instead of my head, listen to my heart? We can be heart listeners as well. And feel the pain of another individual. With yes and, I don't see we're going to have a lot of interaction here, except for Steve, Irma, and Olivia. Otherwise, I play a ton of games with different people to talk about it. Instead, I'll tell you a bunch of stories instead of games. You'll have to play games with me later. You'll have to actually check out Speaker Skills Plus, where we actually do play games to boost our speaking skills. And you can come check that out with me. But here, I'll just tell you some more stories. And I know this. You are infinitely creative. You are. And if I was listening back to this 13, 14 years ago before I played improv, I'd say, no, I'm not. I'm not. Because I was programmed by schools to have one right answer. Only one right answer. And that doesn't feel good to be so confined in a box that there's only one right answer. School kids are trained that way. But kids that go into school are very divergent thinkers. They gave a puzzle to 2 groups of kids, kindergartners and 4th graders. And they gave the puzzle in a box, and you needed to use the box to solve the problem. The kindergartners just flipped over the box and used it. The first grader or fourth graders they moved the box aside because it delivered the material in it. They thought this is what we needed to solve the problem. We go from very divergent, creative thinkers to very convergent thinkers. So you are infinitely creative, and you can retrain those creative muscles. This will build your creative muscles. Right now, I feel pretty infinitely creative. It's a power to that. Steve, what do you got to say? I thought at the beginning kindergarten, just remember, if you write in the chat, I'm going to read it out loud. And third grade, huge, love that example, Steve. Steve taught art to kindergartners and third graders. Huge difference in the openness to creativity. Yeah, so Steve got to live it firsthand. You got to see that difference in openness, so that we're trained in this way. You can retrain yourself to be this incredible divergent thinker. And when you're creative, let me just check with all of you here. Do you feel expansive? Yeah, I'm seeing the heads nod. When we're creative, we feel expansive. It feels so good. We want more of it. I think it opens our heart space up. We're more likely to connect with our heart in that way. But going back to improv, because I was so trained in one right answer, the first day felt like it might be the last day. Jackie Lowell gave us a white toilet brush in this last game. And she called the game Pass the Object. In this game, you're supposed to pass the white toilet brush. She said it was new. It looked new. It did not have a tag on it, though, so I got a little bit suspicious, Jackie. I don't know. But people turned it into cool things, like a butterfly net. I could see it. A tennis racket, a badminton racket. I go, those are pretty close, but still cool. And then I knew a racquetball racket, but I didn't want to say it because they already used racket. I wanted to come up with something new and cool, but my mind was going into the fear zone. My vision was tunneling, and there was a voice saying, maybe you're not meant to do improv. And it felt like this might be my first and last day of improv. And as it came around, my breath was in this fear, upper tight chest constricted zone. I could barely breathe. And finally something did come to me. Canoe paddle. I'm going to survive this game with a canoe paddle. I'm not up the creek without my paddle. I got my paddle. I'm ready to go. And the person right before me, I like that, of yours. The person right before me said canoe paddle and handed me this toilet brush. And I started to freak out. And all of a sudden, I found myself brushing my teeth with a toilet brush. Some people laughed, some people groaned, and I survived that game, and I would come back again and again and again. One, it was a danger to me because I didn't have a safe place in my own head. And I definitely didn't dare to suck. But I'm lucky I feel that I did that. I learned one really important thing from playing that game that day. You gotta have two things. And I did that. I did that for the longest time. I get my first thing, then I get my second thing, and I go, okay, now I can relax. But then I had moments of this incredibly supportive group where I thought I'd failed. One of my partners picking me up and turning it into something awesome, realizing I didn't fail. I felt supportive, and I got more moments where I was present, and that felt so expansive and good, I wanted more of it. And eventually I became hooked that way. The other thing I want to share is this. One of the secrets to me having a ton of fun as a speaker is now anything you throw at me, it's a gift. You're giving me a gift, and I look for a way to say yes and to that. Thank you for that, Olivia. I got your gift. I'm going to put it right here in my heart. Thank you. When people do the unexpected, it becomes fun now. When I walked into rooms before, I felt like I was on trial or being judged by everyone because I was judging me, the situation, and everyone else. And judgment just weights us down so much. The more you can let go of that judgment, one of the goals I have for the speakers and leaders that I work with is that to help them have an unconditional, or even let's say this, an uncomparing confidence. I want to let people have an uncomparing confidence. Not the confidence that I'm better than you. I can see that. The uncomparing confidence that you have this feeling inside you, this power and energy inside you that you know You are whole and complete just as you are. And those holes that people shot into you are just imaginary. And those programs can be filled up when you know you're whole and complete. And it's much easier to be a speaker when you're not judging your audience harshly and you're not judging yourself harshly. And one of the big keys is your heart. I remember one of my friends, phenomenal speaker, Andre Carter. He was on stage numerous times in front of me, and audiences loved him. They were looking up at him with this adoring energy, and I'm going, bleh. No, I loved him too, but I was going, I want that. Why does he have that? I was jealous. I was jealous and comparing. And so I asked him one day, finally got up the courage to ask him, okay, Andre, why do all these people love you so much? What is your secret? Because I can't tell what it is for sure. I know you're a great speaker. You're very charismatic. Why do they love you? He said, here, I'll just tell you the one thing. I love my audience. And I said, well, I could see you love some of them, but not her. She's really annoying. And I said a version of that. She's so annoying. And he said, Chris, I love her too. And even you, even when you're annoying, I go, yeah, well, that's a true statement, Andre. I know I'm annoying. I can be very annoying. So if you can love me, then maybe I believe it. And I did believe it. He loves pretty much everyone. And I had this amazing experience when we did improv as a group for just in time for foster youth in San Diego, California. They're an organization that supports foster youth that really been, after 18, the state doesn't support the families anymore. And at 18, many of these families just throw the kids out. They have no more support. And so this organization was created to help actually support these kids. And because of that, they had mentors, and they brought us in to share this recipe of improv, how we shared it. And I don't think I shared it like this at the time, but we played games and exercises with them. And in that moment, I could feel I totally loved this audience. It was like this magical experience. It felt incredible. So how can you love your audience? When you love your audience, it feels great. And I know a lot of you out there probably already know this. Love is infinite. We don't need to dole it out in little spoonfuls. Here's a little love for you. Olivia, taste that. That's a little love for you. That's a little love for you, Irma. That's a little love for you. You can just throw it out. There's so much of it. You can just, buckets of it. We can splash it all over you. Love is everywhere. And where I came to that was a meditation that someone took me through, that I realized love is infinite. And yet we dole it out so little. And as a speaker, I'd like you to bathe yourself in love and give that love to your audience. It will make such a difference. And playfulness, I think, allows it to come out even more. When you get people laughing and playful, magic happens. True magic happens. This recipe is very, very connecting, very collaborative. Human beings, the reason we're here today is we collaborated. We connected, we collaborated, we supported each other. This is a very lonely world right now for many people. And if you're lonely, find someone. And I love Johan Hari's book, Lost Connection. Lost Connection by Johan Hari. He talks about anxiety and depression, and it's really much more than just anxiety and depression. He's talking about how we can, again, connect to each other. And one of the keys he talked about was this, and it's a key that happens in this improv recipe, and you can as a speaker as well, or leader or entrepreneur. When we connect two ways, like on a two-way street versus a one-way street, and I'll clarify that. Like if you're in the hospital, the nurses and doctors and staff are caring about you. It's not a deep connection, and maybe may grow into a deep connection, but you feel good that they're caring for you, but you don't usually have that close relationship. It's when I'm helping you and you're helping me, when we're both contributing to it. If you look at some of the families that are the most connected, they're the all for one for all type families, where kids jump in and help, adults jump in and help. We take input from the kids, all those things. There's a two-way street going. That's when we feel these deep connections. And you can create that in your talks. You can create that in your organizations and when you play with people. And I didn't realize that at the time, but this recipe did that. This recipe is all about how can I support you? How can I look out for you? And we were such on a high after playing this that we go out together afterwards and even deepen the connection even more. And so for me, I created a group called Speaker Skills Plus. You're welcome to check it out anytime, speakerskillsplus.com. email me for a free golden ticket. It's like a test, a joyride. Woo! You get to go on a ride on it. Or you might go, it's kind of like a roller coaster. Speaker Skills Plus is. You might go, woo, this is awesome. Or you might go, ooh, let me get off this ride. Now you might go from a ooh to a woo. But that might take a little while. You got to be patient with yourself. Yeah, thank you for the golden ticket. An ooh to a woo is actually the best transformation you can have in some sense. You're going from that fearful contracted to going woo. I love this, the triumph one that feels the expansive. Play with that. You know, I designed it actually for me because I turned my procrastination into a superpower. You can turn things into a superpower. You know why? So if I'm procrastinating, it's not fun. There's resistance to it. So how can you make it fun? So I gamified the growing of speaking skills, creating mysteries, using metaphors, using story structure that I was weak in, using different voices. And that's really where the phrase, be willing to be bad, because I was really bad. It's still not great. Be willing to be bad so you can eventually be great. All those things came out of that. And the improv recipe as a speaker allows you to pop up on stage and get excited about whatever the audience throws your way. Or even if they turn off the light, or if they stay off camera. Oh, how did I make procrastination? And a great question, Nancy. I can tell you're listening when you ask that. Love it. So here it is, Nancy. Here's how I turn it into a superpower. Whenever I procrastinate, I become aware. I become aware of why I'm procrastinating. One, it's either not fun or there's a huge level of resistance. How can I sand off that resistance and turn that boulder that I'm pushing up a hill instead into a sled going down a hill? Basically, I looked at, for speaking, this is how Speaker Skills Plus came into being. I wanted to work on my skills. I'm a paid professional speaker right now. I was speaking professionally yesterday and the day before in Washington, D.C. I love what I get to do, but I had trouble working on the skills. And I'd go to work on the skills, and for some reason, Nancy, I got hungry. And I don't know why. Maybe it wasn't real hunger, but it felt like hunger, and I'd go open the refrigerator. And I'd find something in there and I'd eat that. And then I go, hungry, I need a break. I should watch a little bit of YouTube. And then an hour or two later, I still hadn't done any working on my skills. But I go, what are the two things I don't procrastinate at all on? Improv and basketball. What do they have in common for me? They're fun. Some people would call basketball a workout. I've never called basketball a workout. I actually work out to get better at basketball. Basketball is just pure play, but after it, sometimes I go, my heart beats into the red zone. My heart is beating so fast. Basketball is not evil, Dan. You take that back, sir. You take that back. Basketball is not evil. Basketball has actually been my meditation, the thing that brought me present so much of my life. It felt so good. So I looked at how do I bring games into growing my speaking skills. And that's how it came to being, Nancy. And now I look at this. If some group or organization is procrastinating or a person is procrastinating, how can I help them turn it into a game? How do I create a playful experience for them? And I love doing that because now I am infinitely creative. Nancy, I'm with you. That is a tough Bermuda Triangle to get out of there. So Nancy said this, and it was really funny. I lost literally years of my life to the Bermuda Triangle of the refrigerator, couch, and TV. That is a dangerous place to be. And right now there's a chocolate chip cookie calling me as well. Back you, cookie. And I said this way, cookies are stronger than me, but most of the time I can outsmart them. But if someone brings them into the house, they sneak up and grab me by the neck and said, we're going to become one, dude. We're meant to become one. And, just give in now. So that's part of it. I love having a ton of fun speaking now. I was a very serious person. Someone could watch me playing. I'm introverted and serious and competitive. And in the past, someone could watch me playing basketball and go, is that guy having any fun out there? What's going on? And I see there's a red light coming on through Irma's. I feel like I'm in Toastmaster. When am I supposed to wrap up? Tell me when am I supposed to wrap up in this? Because I can go a long time. Am I supposed to wrap up now? Okay, then I'll tie it in a bow. I apologize. I thought I had the whole hour. But let's do this. So this is a recipe that changed my life. Yes and, I went from a no but person to a yes and person. It made me a better human being, better speaker, better friend, better son, better father, better partner. Listening, I was a pretty good listener before. I'd worked on that, but I became better because of improv. Being present is where the magic is as a speaker and in living in life. And I think if you think about the most powerful experiences you had in life, they're when you were fully present. There's so much magic in there. And setting up other people to look great feels good. And I was fairly selfish before, but I'll share this story super fast in this way. At my 20-year reunion, a bunch of people came up to me and said, your mother saved my life. She got me through high school. She got me off drugs and alcohol. She's the reason I graduated. She's the reason I'm a high school counselor. She was our high school counselor. And I invited her to our school 20-year reunion to come say that. And she said, no, that's your reunion. I said, you made a way bigger difference on my class than I did. And that really motivated me to do something more in the world. And sharing this recipe with you, I hope you play with it. I hope you reach out, ask me any question with this. And, you know, one of the things we play with, and that's why I love this, the topic, Sing Your Heart Song, is that I also teach speaking from the heart when we're talking in that. You know, I know I'm in my head. I was in my head a lot of this presentation. But when you pull yourself to your heart, you feel a different resonance. I love all of you out there, whether you watch this recorded or not. Or even if you don't watch it, I love you too. You won't hear it, but I do. I love you. And it feels good to love. Loving is an expansive feeling. And if you can do that as a speaker, business owner, leader, writer, I hope love infuses whatever you do. Bathe in the ocean of love because you don't have to dole it out. It is infinite. Thank you so much, Heart Singers, for having me here.